Well, I think Israel has the understanding and the sympathy of much of the international community. I dare say it has the understanding and sympathy also of much of the moderate Arab and Muslim world, because they all understand that no other democracy would stand for what Israel has taken over the last 8 years. None of their countries, including members of the Security Council, would have waited so long or reacted any differently. And I think most of them realize that Hamas, which is recognized internationally widely as a terror organization, must be dealt with, not only because it is a danger to Israel, but it is a danger to the region. It represents extremism, and this truly, at the end of the day, is another fight between moderates and extremists, and I think everybody around the world does not want to see extremism prevail.
And you've elucidated there some of the key talking points we get from every Israeli spokesperson. It's been a very skillful campaign of media management, thanks in no part to yourself. You were quoted as saying that you were recruited some months ago for the media management of this war. When exactly were you recruited?
No, I was recruited after the war started. I was asked by the foreign minister, Tzipi Livni, to come in and try and coordinate some of Israel's media efforts on Sunday morning after this operation started. I was not part of any preparation, and I was literally recruited after this has started.
That's interesting, because you were quoted in the London Observer as saying, quote, "This was something that was planned long ahead. I was recruited by the foreign minister to coordinate Israel's efforts." You then went on to talk about how skillful the operation was. But although this media management operation was...
Well, it just shows that I suppose the Observer did not put the comma or the full stop in the right place. This operation has been planned for a very long time. Parts of Israel's media campaign have been prepared in case something happens, but I personally was brought in after it had actually started.
So the media campaign was purely on the off chance that Hamas did not extend the ceasefire. Military action was never a certainty then?
No, military action was always the last resort. And I'm sure you know that countries like Israel, which are under constant threat, have contingency plans for anything that might happen. And it was quite clear that if Hamas did not come to its senses, Israel would not continue to take this day in, day out for 8 years, and especially for the nearly 3.5 years since we totally left Gaza.
It's interesting. Again, those are some more of those, those talking points about how Gaza could have been terribly prosperous if only Hamas had wanted it. It could have been Singapore on the Mediterranean and so on. One part that's not part of the narrative is how Israel broke the ceasefire on November the 4th. One can't help but wonder, was that an attempt to nudge Hamas to not extend the ceasefire, so that you could actually put these plans, these long-planned operations, both on the media management and military front, into action?
Well, first of all, you keep talking about talking points. There are no talking points. There's a very real reality on the ground. It's a reality which everybody understands. I'm sure you do too. And I would really like to ask you, what did Hamas expect? Shelling Israel for 8 years, shelling kindergartens and schools, aiming at civilians, indiscriminately targeting civilians, and
right.
Especially, again, and this is not a talking point, this is a very real thing. Israel left Gaza nearly 3.5 years ago.
As an open-air prison, it's alleged.
And painful thing for
and
Israel
then it was
to
put
do.
under siege. I mean,
and
what did Israel expect, I suppose, is the alternative.
What would...
but Ambassador, I'm sorry, we're running out of time on the satellite window, which is a shame.
What did you think? What did you think? What did you think Hamas expected? Really, you think they wanted us to send them bouquets of flowers?
Has there been a discussion of
what
evidence
do you think they really had in mind
in your media management group in the National Information Directorate? Will you soon be providing the media with evidence that the hospitals, the car parks, the schools, the shopping areas were indeed Hamas assets? Will you be able to back that up, for example, in an international war crimes tribunal? Are you discussing that actively?
If we do provide that evidence, which, by the way, has been shown by every channel in the world, including kindergartens and school, and a school and a kindergarten which were hit today as well, would Al Jazeera show it?
Yes, we would. But I'm asking simply, though, will you be presenting evidence that all these assets that have been hit with enormous civilian damage, you say as a result of Hamas's use of shields. Will you be presenting us with any evidence? Is that being discussed in your media management campaign?
We have no media management and no national media directorate, as you're trying to hint. We're putting the case of a country which is constantly attacked. You know, the Palestinians could have had their own state